Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine. Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine. Avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namah. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We are studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Today's Gospel class I have taken the subject, Develop Spiritually. God has given us opportunity to be born as human beings on this earth. In order we develop spiritually and finally realize the truth. So the world is meant for practicing spirituality and realizing the truth. World is a stage. Everything depends on the will of God. The world is God's play. He has created all these different things, great and small, strong and weak, good and bad, virtuous and vicious. This all is Maya, His sport. You must have observed that all the trees in a garden are not of the same kind. Further, Sri Ramakrishna tells, in the world, a man must get into fight against passions like lust, anger, against many desires, against attachment. It is convenient to fight inside from a fort, from his own home. At home, he gets his food and other help from his wife. In the Kali Yuga, the life of a man depends entirely on food. It is better to get food at one place than to knock at 7 doors for it. Living at home is like facing the battle from a fort. Further, Sri Ramakrishna says, live in the world like a cast-off leaf in a gale. Such a leaf is some blown inside a house and sometimes to a rubbish heap. The leaf goes wherever the wind blows, sometimes to a good place and sometimes to a bad. Now God has put you in the world. That's good. Stay here. Again, when He lifts you from here and puts you in a better place, that will be time enough to think about what to do then. God has put you in the world. What can you do about it? Resign everything to Him. Surrender yourself at His feet. Then there will be no more confusion. Then you will realize that it is God who does everything. All depends on the will of Rama. So, we should not grumble about the situation, circumstance. On the other hand, we should use all the situations to develop spiritually. All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. Like that wrote William Shakespeare, one of the greatest dramatists of all time. Shakespeare saw the world as a large theatre. If the entire world is indeed a stage, and life is a play, and all of us are mere actors, then this view leads to some interesting corollaries. Who is the author and the director of this play? Obviously, God. The Indian view that creation is God's Leela, play, supports this view. What do birth and death signify? Birth corresponds to enter and death to exit in a play. Feeble-minded people in the world often lose courage in life and commit suicide. This extreme step in terms of theatre is like an actor losing his head and abruptly walking off the stage in a huff even before his part in the play has ended. Murder, similarly, is like someone pushing a fellow actor off the stage to stop him from further participation in the drama. Both are tantamount to disrupting the play, and so amounts to corrupting the script of God. Little wonder, therefore, that all religions unequivocally denounce both murder and suicide as vile sins. A play has all kinds of characters: king, nobleman, peasant, tradesman, and more. All are equally dear to the author. All combine to contribute to the total effect of the drama. Nobody is superior, nor is anybody inferior merely by virtue of her calling in life. Excellence depends on how well you discharge your duty rather than how exalted a duty you have been called to discharge. This brings to mind the significance of Swadharma, one's native calling in life. Dwelling on this point, Lord Krishna declares in the Gita, Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharmat Swanushthitat Swadharme Nidhanam Shreyaha Paradharmo Bhayavaha. One's own dharma, though imperfect, is better than the dharma of another well discharged. Full of fear is the dharma of another. Illustrating the truth of this verse, Sri Ramakrishna observes that a professional farmer does not lose courage, and he continues to cultivate even if there be a terrible drought for 12 long years. But a weaver who takes to tilling for a change of occupation gets disheartened if rain falls for one season. An actor in a play conforms to the script, which represents the will of the author, playwright, just as a person in life should surrender to the will of God. Such surrender is the supreme act of religion, according to Islam. Likewise, Thy will be done, O Lord, is the essence of the Christian's daily prayer. We should accept the will of God, whatever it be, with an humble Amen. Actors on the stage may fight, kill or love, but nothing disturbs their deeper mental state. They never forget that it is a play after all, and that they are simply and faithfully enacting the author's script. They remain detached always. This is equilibrium born of knowledge. How would a person be if he successfully adopts this condition of equilibrium in actual life? Lord Krishna tells in the Gita, Samaschatroja mitreja tatha manapamanayoho shitoshna sukadukkeshu samasanga vivarjitaha tulyaninda stutirmauni santushto yena kenachit aniketa sthiramatir bhaktiman me priyo naraha. He who is the same to foe and friend, and also in honor and dishonor, who is the same in cold and heat, in pleasure and pain, who is free from attachment, to whom censure and praise are equal, who is silent, uncomplaining, content with anything, homeless, steady-minded, full of devotion, that man is dear to me. The essence of the teaching of the Gita is to transform karma into karma yoga, to be active in body but detached in mind. This, in fact, is how any good actor conducts herself on stage. That's the way of developing our spiritual personality. Second point is, make friends with yourself. When Lord Jesus said, the kingdom of God is within, what he meant was that heaven itself would be a disappointment to restless worldly people. If a person has no true joy in his heart, he will not find true joy outside, though he be in heaven itself and in the company of angels. Heaven must be experienced right here, right now, within ourselves, if we are to experience it ever. A stream extending itself too far into a desert will go dry. Man too dries up inside spiritually and emotionally when he extends himself too far in his search for outward pleasures. The wellspring of enjoyment lies in his inner self. What he is inwardly, that he will find without. The more truly he lives in himself, the more rewarding will his outer life be also. Man's inner self is the spring that feeds all his knowing, all that he can enjoy on earth. If he neglects it, all his perceptions must wither and die. If one neglects a spring, it may clog up and stop flowing. You have only to look into the eyes of spiritually unaware people, especially as they grow older, to see what has happened to them. Is it with enthusiasm and dynamic energy that they pass their leisure time? Watch them sitting idly, staring at the TV or chatting on useless matters. Man's mistake is to run from the one fact which alone can be completely real to him. It's only by making friends with his inner self first that he can ever make friends with the world. Scientists are always trying to perfect their instruments. But we too, our bodies, our minds, our nervous system, are instruments in need of perfection. Can we observe anything intelligently through telescope or microscope beyond our own capacity for observation? It is only as this instrument, the mind, is made more perfectly sensitive that we can ever hope to penetrate deeply to the universal mysteries. Will it cut you off from an understanding of others if you seek truly to understand yourself? Not at all. You can understand others only to the extent that you have understood yourself. But will it make you less sensitive to their needs, less sympathetic, less outgoing and eager to help them? Again, no. For it is only as one becomes aware of his own weaknesses and overcomes them that he develops compassion for others in their sorrows. Today's theme is international unity. But the kind of unity politicians seek is only a patchwork job. Unity that lasts cannot be created. It must be realized. The point is, we are already one. We have imagined distinctions that do not really exist. So we need to work towards greater development of personal conscience, of personal awareness. A friend, young and restless, once planned to go around India to visit various saints. This might have been a laudable purpose, except that so far this boy had put forth very little effort to improve himself. His real hope was to find someone who would consent to do all his spiritual work for him. If you take a tumbler to the ocean, you will only get a tumbler full of water. No doubt those great saints have much to give you, but what of your own capacity to receive what they give? If you would change the world for the better, first of all, be better yourself. You are the greatest responsibility the universe has placed in your hands. Third point, come out of fear and develop self-confidence. Fear is an obstacle in the progress of one's life. So if one has to develop spiritually, one has to come out of fear. One should strive to overcome this fear. The Upanishad also says, Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhyaha. The Atman cannot be realized by a person who is weak mentally, who constantly fears. Fear is not a restrictive emotion, but it is a protective emotion. Once you understand this, you will be able to come out of the fear very easily. Most of our problem is fear itself. You should not see to the acute cause of the fear. It is important to know the root cause of the extremely protective nature, which is otherwise called as fear. There are some situations where fear is helpful, and there are some other situations where fear is very helpful, and there are some situations where fear is not helpful. This excessive protective nature arises due to childhood experiences of a person. So you should not worry about the condition, but try to be aware of the root cause of your fear. When a person approaches a problem with this attitude, there will be a dramatic change in this nature. Thereby, the fear is seen not as an enemy, but as an overprotective friend. When he begins to see his fear, then he will begin to see the root cause of the fear as negative experiences that happened in his childhood. Fourth point is develop self-confidence. First, you should stop comparing yourself with others. Since you compare yourself with others, you weigh yourself very low. That is, you feel very inferior. When you stop comparing with others and stop trying to live like others by seeing God's gift given to you, which is unique in the world, you will begin to value yourself. You will respect yourself. You will love yourself. Then automatically you will be able to achieve things in your life. The value which you give to yourself is self-confidence. But most of us, by comparing ourselves with others, don't take steps of our own in any course of action. We simply carry out our actions because others do the same. The choice of our action is not our own. We try to be other than what we are. We are not natural. So do things that you like when you do something. Because you like to do it, you will develop self-confidence. So, these are some of the points we should dwell upon and practice them in life. That will certainly inspire us to develop spiritually. Yam said, Bahaduri further said that the knowledge of your physical science was a false knowledge. Such knowledge is momentary. He gave an analogy. Suppose there are two wells. The one gets its water from an underground spring, the other has no such spring and is filled with rainwater. But the water of the second well does not last long time. The knowledge of your science is like the rainwater, it dries up. Dr. Sarkar, with a smile, said, I see. The carriage arrived at Karnavali Street. Dr. Sarkar picked up Dr. Pratap Mazumdar. Pratap had visited Sri Ramakrishna the previous day. They soon arrived at Shampako. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in his room on the second floor with several devotees. Dr. Sarkar said to the master, I see you are coughing. The Bengali word for coughing is Kashi. Kashi is also the name of Benares. I see you are coughing, smiling, but it is good to go to Kashi. Allah. Master said smilingly, but what will give me liberation? I don't want liberation, I want love of God. Allah. Pratap was Dr. Bahaduri's son-in-law. Sri Ramakrishna was speaking to Pratap in praise of his father-in-law. Master said to Pratap, oh, what a grand person he has become. He contemplates God and observes purity in his conduct. Further, he accepts both aspects of God, personal and impersonal. M was very eager to mention Dr. Bahaduri's remarks about Dr. Sarkar's being born again as a stone or brickbat. He asked the younger Naren very softly whether he remembered those remarks of Dr. Bahaduri. Sri Ramakrishna overheard this. Master said to Dr. Sarkar, do you know what Dr. Bahaduri said about you? He said that because you did not believe these things, in the next cycle you would have to begin your earthly life from a stone or brickbat. All love. Dr. Sarkar said smilingly, suppose I begin from a stone or brickbat, and after many births obtain a human body. But as soon as I come back to this place, I shall have to begin over again from a stone or brickbat. The doctor and all laughed. The conversation turned to the master's ecstasy in spite of his illness. Pratap said, yesterday I saw you in an ecstatic mood. Master said, it happened of itself, but it was not intense. Dr. Sarkar said, ecstasy and talking are not good for you now. Master said to Dr. Sarkar, I saw you yesterday in my samadhi. I found that you are a mine of knowledge, but it is all dry knowledge. You have not tasted divine bliss. To Pratap, referring to Dr. Sarkar, if he ever tastes divine bliss, he will see everything above and below filled with it. Then he will not say that whatever he says is right and what others says is wrong. Then he will not utter sharp, strong, pointed words. The devotees remained silent. Suddenly Sri Ramakrishna went into a spiritual mood and said to Dr. Sarkar, Mahindra Babu, what is this madness of yours about money? Why such attachment to wife? Why such longing for name and fame? Give up all these now and direct your mind to God with whole-souled devotion. Enjoy the bliss of God. Dr. Sarkar sat still without uttering a word. The devotees also remained silent. Master said, Nangta used to tell me how a Jnani meditates. Everywhere is water. All the regions above and below are filled with water. Man, like a fish, is swimming joyously in that water. In real meditation, you will actually see all this. Take the case of the infinite ocean. There is no limit to its water. Suppose a pot is immersed in it. There is water both inside and outside the pot. The Jnani sees that both inside and outside there is nothing but Paramatman. Then what is this pot? It is I consciousness. Because of the pot, the water appears to be divided into two parts. Because of the pot, you seem to perceive an inside and outside. One feels that way as long as this part of I exists. When the I disappears, what is remains? That cannot be described in words. When the I disappears, what is remains? That cannot be described in words. Do you know what another day, do you know another way a Jnani meditates? Think of infinite Akasha and a bird flying there, joyfully spreading its wings. There is the Chidakasha and Atman is the bird. The bird is not imprisoned in a cage. It flies in the Chidakasha. Its joy is limitless. The devotees listened with great attention to these words about meditation. After time, Pratap resumed the conversation. Pratap said to Dr. Sarkar, when one thinks seriously, one undoubtedly sees everything as a mere shadow. Dr. Sarkar said, if you speak of a shadow, then you need three things, the sun, the object and the shadow. How can there be any shadow without an object? And you say that God is real and the creation unreal. I say that the creation is real too. Pratap said, very well, as you see a reflection in a mirror, so you see this universe in the mirror of your mind. Dr. Sarkar, but how can there be a reflection without an object? Narendra, why? God is the object. Dr. Sarkar remained silent. Master said to Dr. Sarkar, you said a very fine thing. No one else has said before that samadhi is the result of the union of the mind with God. You alone have said that. Shivanath said that one lost one's head by too much thinking of God. In other words, one becomes unconscious by meditating on the universal consciousness. Think of it. Becoming unconscious by contemplating Him who is of the very nature of consciousness and whose consciousness endows the world with consciousness. And what does your science say? This combined with this produces that. That combined with that produces this. One is more likely to lose consciousness by contemplating those things, by handling material things too much. Dr. Sarkar said, one can see God in those things. Yam. If so, one sees God more clearly in man, and still better in a great soul. In a great soul there is a greater manifestation of God. Dr. Sarkar, yes, in man, no doubt. Master, losing consciousness by contemplating God, through whose consciousness even inert matter appears to be conscious, and hands, feet and body move, people say that the body moves of itself, but they do not know that it is God who moves it. They say that water scalds the hand, but water can by no means scald the hand. It is the heat in the water the fire in the water that scalds. Rice is boiling in a pot. Potatoes and eggplant are also jumping about in the pot. The children say that the potatoes and eggplant jump up themselves. They do not know that there is fire underneath. Man says that the sense organs do their work of themselves, but he does not know that inside dwells he whose very nature is consciousness. Dr. Sarkar stood up. He was about to take his leave. Sri Ramakrishna also stood up. Dr. Sarkar said, people call on God when they are faced with a crisis. Is it for the mere fun of it that they say, O Lord, thou, thou? You speak of God because of that trouble in your throat. You have now fallen into the clutches of the cotton carder. You had better speak to the carder. I am just quoting your own words. Master said, there is nothing for me to say. Dr. Sarkar, why not? We lie in the lap of God. We feel free with Him. To whom should we speak about our illness, if not to Him? Master said, right you are. Once in a while I try to speak to Him about it, but I do not succeed. Dr. Sarkar, why should you even speak to Him? Does He not know of it? Master said smilingly. A Mussulman, while saying his prayers, shouted, Oh Allah, Allah. Another person said to him, you are calling on Allah. That is all right. But why are you shouting like that? Don't you know that He hears the sound of the anklets on the feet of a ant? When the mind is united with God, one sees Him very near in one's own heart. But you must remember one thing. The more you realize this unity, the farther your mind is withdrawn from the worldly things. There is the story of Vivekananda in Bhaktimala. He used to visit a prostitute. One night he was very late in going to her house. He had been detained at a home by the Shraddha ceremony of his father and mother. In his hands, he was carrying the food offered in the ceremony to feed his mistress. His whole soul was so set upon the woman that he was not at all conscious of his movements. He did not even know how he was walking. There was a yogi seated on the path, meditating on God with eyes closed. Bilvamangal stepped on him. The yogi became angry and cried out, What? Are you blind? I have been thinking of God and you step on my body? I beg your pardon, sir, said Bilvamangal. But may I ask you something? I have been unconscious thinking of a prostitute, and you are conscious of the outer world, though thinking of God. What kind of meditation is that? In the end, Bilvamangal renounced the world and went away in order to worship God. He said to the prostitute, You are my Guru. You have taught me how one should yearn for God. He addressed the prostitute as his mother and gave her up. Dr. Sarkar, to address a woman as mother is the tantric form of worship. She'll stop here. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. Own name stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself, O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name that bath for weary souls. Various are Thy names, O Lord, in each and every name Thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of Thy name. So vast is Thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to Thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth retinue. The playthings of lust or the ties of pain. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for Thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is Thy servant, O sweet one. In Thy mercy consider him as dust beneath Thy feet. How I long for the day when an instant separation from Thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, and my heart burns with its desire, and the world without Thee is a heartless void. Prostrated Thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of Thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of Thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O Thou who stillest the hearts of Thy devotees, do with me what Thou wilt, for Thou art my heart's beloved, Thou and Thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good,
May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy. May all be free from disease. May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good bread all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.